Opera is a weapon, and for 400 years, it's been used to destroy people. March 3rd, 1875, Paris. The curtain rises at the Opéra Comique. The audience hates it. They boo. They walk out. Critics call it filth. One writes that the lead soprano is morally unfit for the stage. The composer, Georges Bizet, is 36 years old. He sits in the back of the theater and watches his life's work get torn apart. 3 months later, Bizet is dead. Heart attack. He dies believing Carmen is a failure, that he wasted 5 years of his life. He never knew. Today, Carmen is the most performed opera in the world. Over 50 productions a year, over 150 years of packed houses. Bizet died 3 months before the reviews changed. But Bizet wasn't the only one who used opera as a weapon. Some of them succeeded. The Habsburg Empire controls northern Italy. They control the newspapers, the theaters, the mail. They read everything. They censor everything. Giuseppe Verdi wants to write an opera about a jester who exposes the corruption of a king. The Austrian censors say no. The character makes the crown look like a villain. Banned. Verdi changes the names. The king becomes a duke. The jester becomes Rigoletto. The setting moves to 16th century Mantua. The censors approve it. The audience understood every word. In 1850, shouting death to Austria and Italy could get you executed. Crying at Rigoletto cost nothing. Verdi sold revolution as entertainment and got away with it. But what happens when the weapon gets stolen? Richard Wagner died in 1883. He never met Adolf Hitler. He had been dead for 6 years when Hitler was born. It didn't matter. Wagner's daughter-in-law, Winifred Wagner, became one of Hitler's closest personal friends. She called him Wolf. She managed the Bayreuth Festival, the temple Wagner had built for his own music, and turned it into the Third Reich's official cultural showcase. Hitler attended Bayreuth 23 times. He called Wagner the greatest German who ever lived. Wagner had written music about German mythology, German heroism, German blood. He had also written violently anti-Semitic essays. He handed the Nazis a complete aesthetic package, and he wasn't alive to say no. Winifred defended her friendship with Hitler until 1975. In a documentary interview, 30 years after the war, she says, "If Hitler walked in that door today, I'd be just as happy to see him as ever." The music didn't do that. People did, but the music made it possible. Bizet, Verdi, Wagner. One man's weapon failed him and killed him. One man's weapon liberated an occupied country. One man's weapon was stolen and used for genocide. Same art form. 300 years. 3 completely different outcomes. Opera didn't survive centuries by being polite. It survived because it had something to say. Next week, a castrati singer sang the same song to a king every night for 10 years. Both of them were completely insane. That story is coming. Want to stay tuned? Share and subscribe. Now.